Hey, Pretty Girl Club, welcome back to the Storytime series. If you have a story that you would like to share with the Exoticals United community, please email me at exoticalsunited@gmail.com. In this series, this is where we tell kind of our life stories and our experiences with like jealousy or being fetishized and stuff like that. So be sure to email me. All of your info is always going to be kept anonymous, so you don't have to worry about like being doxxed. But this girl says, I watch your channel and I love all the advice you give. I also attended an HBCU, and I have friends of all backgrounds. I have unambiguous black male friends who also watch your channel, and it's funny because they actually introduced me to this channel. I was surprised because in my head I was thinking this channel isn't for them because they're not mixed or exoticals. One of my unambiguous black male friends told me that if we ever both became famous one day, I would have more privilege because I am light-skinned, which I didn't really like, but I let it slide to keep the peace. I'm not sure if you will read this story, but I want to stay as private as possible, so I won't go into too much detail, but I am mixed with black and Asian. Recently, my unambiguous black female friend said that she unsubscribed from you because of the thumbnails in your videos. Specifically, the one I have attached to this email. I personally didn't see anything wrong with it, but I say all of this to say that I have a hard time sticking up for myself in these types of situations. So she's talking about my thumbnails where I show women sitting on a throne. So I have some thumbnails where there's a light-skinned woman on a throne, where there's a dark-skinned woman on a throne. But the women who have inferiority complexes, they get triggered by the light skin being like pedestalized. So then they unsubscribed, and that's fine. I mean, please unsubscribe and don't come back. You won't be missed. But this person says, I personally didn't see anything wrong with it, but I say all of this to say that I have a hard time sticking up for myself in these situations. Clearly, I want to tell her that this channel is not for unambiguous black women, but I feel like she will be offended. Exactly. This channel is only supposed to be for those who resonate with it. I actually don't want women who follow like the black empowerment space. I don't want them to follow the channel. So I purposely create triggering titles and triggering thumbnails so that I can repel as many of those types of women as possible. The women who get emotionally dysregulated by something as simple as a thumbnail, I don't even want those types of women over here. That's one of my strategies to like attract my audience. I want an audience that that doesn't mind controversy, or they don't mind like unpopular opinions. But that's interesting. She literally is saying that an unambiguous black male, unambiguous black women, they're following our channels. So they're kind of like watching and lurking on the exotical space. But I thought all of us were just regular black people. What happened to that talking point? I thought all of the exoticals were unambiguous dark-skinned black women who are bleachers. So if we're all just quote unquote regular and we all have the same experiences, why are they following us? But she says, I'm surprised she felt some type of way because you had another thumbnail with a black woman in the middle and light skin surrounding her. And she's talking about the image of the black, like the dark skin exotical on the throne. She said it's funny how she did not notice that one. There was one talking point you had where you said it's okay for people to say, I don't want to have black babies, but they're wrong when they say, I want light-skinned babies. You're completely right when it comes to these double standards, and I'm happy there is a voice like you to address these issues. I just need more advice on how to handle situations like these. So, are you an exotical who has friends or family members that you have caught watching the exotical channel? Because I would recommend, like, if you watch this channel, be sure to hide it. Don't let other people know that you're watching this kind of content. If they ask you if you follow the exotical space, just lie. Just say, no, you don't follow it. Or you can just talk shit. Oh, I don't follow the exoticals. Oh, I hate them. Oh, yeah, no, they're so racist in colors. And then just go behind their back and then watch this space. And then we can, like, come back and collect intel. Because this is really interesting. But she says that she wants to know how to handle situations like these. I would have just lied. I would have been like, oh, yeah, I don't watch that channel, or, oh, I just heard of it. Like, I don't know much about it. That's what I would have done. I would have just pretended like I don't know that much about it, because if there is some sort of secret that you have, the Exoticals United space, it's supposed to be kind of like our own little secret space here on YouTube. We're not supposed to be like just shouting from the mountaintops all of our strategies and stuff. That's why I put all of my best content behind the paywall. But that's just something I would have done, like maybe lie, just pretend like you don't know what it is, pretend like you've never heard of it. Just pretend like you're a follower or like you follow the mainstream talking points, especially around unambiguous people who have this type of inferiority complex or they're kind of like clocking your privilege or trying to track how much privilege you have, I would just straight up lie and be like, oh no, I haven't experienced any privilege. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, I'm just regular. I'm regular and unambiguous, just like you. I have the exact same life experiences. Yeah, it's no different. The white man still sees us both exactly the same. Everybody sees us as the same. So that's a strategy I would use. And also, whenever I'm around people with inferiority complexes, or if they've made comments before about like how they don't like light skinned people or something like that, I never even talk about skin tone around people who don't share my skin tone, if that makes sense. So if somebody is unambiguous, I would never make like a light skin joke or joke about like being light skinned or say something positive about my light skin complexion. And that is just a form of social strategy. And that's because if you're an exotical in unambiguous spaces, unfortunately, those tend to not be safe spaces for us because we are not the majority in those spaces. So that means that our opinions as the quote unquote privileged black people or privileged mixed black people, our opinions in those spaces are not dominant. So that's why I tend to not even talk about my level up journey, social strategies, my dating life, my finances. Generally speaking, I don't talk about that. And especially not my identity, like my skin tone identity, my racial identity, having a multicultural, multiracial background. I definitely don't go into detail about those things in unambiguous spaces. I just kind of pretend. I just allow people to think that I blend in with them and that my experience is exactly the same as theirs. So that's kind of a strategy that I would use as far as handling situations like those. But that's really interesting, though, that the exotical channels are a topic amongst unambiguous people in your real life. So, what do you ladies think? Have you ever heard unambiguous people talk about the exotical spaces in real life? Have you ever seen an exotical channel pop up on one of your friends' phones or something? Or, like, have you ever had people start questioning you about your privileged experience? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.